Welcome back to Studio 22 Live.TV podcast. I'm your host, Fred Fitzgerald, and I'm so glad you guys are back with us. I got a special guest on the show today who's a great friend of mine. He's been doing some phenomenal things. I think he's like a media mogul. He's an actor. He's also is a CEO. He also is a playwright. He's done film. He just does some amazing things. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read to you his bio. Omar studied acting at Robert Taylor School of Acting and Modeling. His acting debut came in 1999. Welcome back to Studio 22 Live.TV podcast. I'm your host, Fred Fitzgerald, and I'm so glad you guys are back with us. I got a special guest on the show today who's a great friend of mine. He's been doing some phenomenal things. I think he's like a media mogul. He's an actor. He's also is a CEO. He also is a playwright. He's done film. He just does some amazing things. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read to you his bio. Omar studied acting at Robert Taylor School of Acting and Modeling. His acting debut came in 1999, where he played the character of Luke in James Baldwin's The Amen Corner. In 2001, he played the character of Stephen in Rhonda Graham's Finally in Business. Also, he had written and co-produced and starred in his first play, Family. There are several other plays that Omar has written and produced, and he starred in, including Peace and Unity, Who's My Mother, and Isaiah Eternal, the original 2000. Omar is also acting in The Exonerated, Crossroads of Life, Routes, and Disgruntled Employee. And with that impressive bio, I want to introduce to some and also present to others my friend, Mr. Omar Rashada. Welcome to Studio 22 Live.TV. What's up, Omar?
Hey, what's going on, bro? I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you for inviting me to be a guest on your show.
So we actually go back so many years, man, and I just been watching so many things that you've been doing, man, with the TV show, and also you got a book out now, right?
Yeah. You know, the TV show I started back in April of '98. I was introduced to be a guest on Channel 28 by a brother named Carl Kennedy. He had what was at that time called Black Information Television, and he had myself and two other hosts. We would rotate on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. to 4:30. And at that time, my show was called the Million Man March Community Talk Show, was a show that was created after the Million Man March back in '95. So I kept it there for a couple of years, and then 2002 I came up with the other show called Artists, which you've read in the bio, which is a show with performing artists and writers and actors, musicians, dancers, models. They come on and express their talent, you know, and tell people about their careers. And I changed the name from the Million Man March Community Talk Show to Community Issues maybe about 2 years later because the Million Man March kind of like faded away. So I had to come up with a new name. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome for a good minute, and I met so many different people, networked with so many different people. Just get the community opportunity to see positive things in the community, seeing people doing hard work. And I invited you on, you know, when you did your film. I had your sister on numerous times, and
Yes,
she's a poet and an author. So, yeah, it's just a great outlet, for, you know, to expose people, let them people know what's going on in the community and how much talent we have here in the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
That's it, man. Represent, man. Born and raised. Although they knocked my hospital down that I was born in, but that's okay. They probably did it after I was born. But listen, man, tell everybody a little bit about your background and where you're from.
I was born and raised here in the city of Wilmington. I grew up in North Wilmington, Carter Street, 25th and Carter, 25th and Jefferson. You know, growing up, I would enjoy playing basketball at Price's Park, at 30th Street Park.
Remember those days.
And I went to Brown Boys Club. You know, with Mr. Richard and Mr. Stanley, Mr. Wayne, Brown Boys Club, you know, help, you know, the kids in the inner city, you know, help us be positive young men and, you know, just be steadfast and be spiritual, you know, stop being hard-headed.
Yeah,
you know, they would let us know
absolutely.
when we're being bad. So,
Yep.
you know, now that I'm, you know, an adult, I see the importance of having mentors in the community to keep the young people straighten up as they continue to grow up. So, yeah, so I grew up in North Wilmington, and I went to public schools, and I went to college at Del Tech, Wilmington University in Springfield. I got my associates from Del Tech, my bachelor's from Wilmington University in behavioral science, and my master's in counseling from Springfield College.
Nice, man. And who was your biggest inspiration when you was younger, man?
Oh wow! I did. Say my parents. First and foremost, my mom. She was very advocate of me going to school. My grandfather, George Pennington the second. He was an entrepreneur. He was the first African American in the city of Wilmington to own an oil truck company.
Wow, nice.
And my mom's mom, my grandma, Lucille Pennington, she was an entrepreneur. She used to sell freeze cups in the community, Riverside community. She sell Avon. So. Yeah, so it's between my parents and my grandparents, family, as well as just different people in the community who have done positive work in the community and helped raise me, and as well as the other my peers that grew up with me as well.
And any particular teachers or mentors that you had that when you were growing up, when we all have our times where we're like a little rough, my dad used to call me a knucklehead, but it's like a little rough knucklehead doing crazy things. But was there anybody in particular that kind of got your attention, that kind of said, hey, you know what, man, I need to go a different way?
Yeah, I couldn't really hear it because the voice is kind of fading away. I couldn't hear the question.
Okay, was anybody in particular when you were younger that was kind of a mentor to you coming up outside of your parents?
Oh well, my uncles, my mom, brothers, my uncles.
Right.
They would watch me and keep me on the straight path. Wow, that's a great question. I guess I more or less paid attention to that more or less when I became like maybe in my late teens, because I started getting into reading about Public Enemy was out.
Oh,
yeah. And
what's your favorite Public Enemy song?
Oh man, you got Fight the Power.
Oh yeah.
You got Rebel by the Paws.
Yes, sir.
It was quite a few of them.
Yeah, man.
And then so I started, with Public Enemy and them. They started talking about Malcolm X.
Yep.
Yeah, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So I started reading into Black history a little bit more. So.
Right.
I started to appreciate, the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garveys, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the sacrifice, commitment that they done in the community. So I would say outside my parents, those leaders who stood for equality and human rights, because a lot of us wouldn't be where we are today if it weren't for the Martin Luther King Jr.'s and the Andrew Youngs and the Malcolm X's and so many others. Sidney Poitier, he does a great work. Andrew Young. It's so many who fought for the cause of equality and justice. A lot of us, we take for granted that the sacrifices and the commitments that our elders had to go through during that time. And I look at today, I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to further our education, because if you look at us now, today's generation, we have opportunities to advance and going to school, getting our degrees. We have a lot more opportunities that our parents and our grandparents had back then. A lot of us, we like to drive the nice cars, live in the nice homes,
Oh, yeah.
The community I live in, I live right near the PS DuPont area. And, my dad, he went to PS DuPont class of 68. He was saying it was predominantly a white community, during that time. So.
Yeah, I heard that. I definitely heard that.
Yeah. So I was watching something on Channel 28, matter of fact, and they were talking about the 60s, the 1960s, right? And they were saying, blacks weren't even allowed. It's just some of the communities that just majority African American, like around the PS DuPont, Harlem Elementary area, a lot of blacks weren't allowed to be in those areas. So I'm like, wow.
Wow, look at that.
So we made some tremendous progress, and there still need to be progress made. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, the stuff that they had to go through, man, many of us, we probably wouldn't even make it.
No, exactly. I know I wouldn't be. I mean, listen, the thing is, but what it made me realize, I kind of got that from that movie of, the Butler. It makes
yes.
Man, it really made me really appreciate, oh my God, sometimes like the new millennials, they don't even have a clue that when we're talking about, everybody that, Black Lives Matter or just our equal rights and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
It's this stuff it's been going on. It's just
right.
Now it's on the internet, and now you
right.
just can't get. It's not happening where it's getting swept under the rug. It's right on Front Street, and it's affecting people's money. That's exactly
right.
why people are seeing it.
Right. And, I'll tell you, you said who else helped. I'll tell you now, the people who I admire the most right now is a lot of the women, because women are exceeding in education. They're getting their masters. They're getting their doctorates. They're head of households.
Yes.
And if you look at the history of women, back in the 50s and 60s, when you read on our history, a lot of them were housewives. They were pretty much stayed in the house. They probably weren't looked upon as seen to go to work or to go to college. That was pretty much the man's thing. So, I mean, I look at the women, a lot of organizations that I've been involved with, and just women that I interviewed. And you can see the progress that they made over the years, man. They're running they're executive directors. Yeah, they're politicians now. They're running things. So man, it's the women today are just really growing and continue to exceed.
Absolutely. So when did you first recognize that you had talent for music or acting? When did you get that bug?
Well, I think in '93 I wrote something called Peace and Unity. It was like a movie script, and it was a script that calls for the end of violence, because there's so much violence in the African American community, killing each other, one another, and putting each other down. We were disorganized. We would never want to come together as one. So that kind of encouraged me. When I see Malcolm X, when I seen the picture in Spike Lee's movie, I think it was Do the Right Thing. One of those movies he did, he had the picture of Malcolm X and Dr. Martin King Jr. Holding hands.
Yes.
Yeah. So that right there was the inspiration for me to write and say, hey, man, let me write something that can bring the community together. Because when I write, I like to educate and inform people as well at the same time and entertain people. But so that happened back, I think, in 91, 92, or 93. That never materialized, but I guess back in 99, I took acting classes at Robert Taylor Talent. And so I said, man, I like this acting thing. It's pretty good. Yeah. Right. So until 2 years later, I wrote my first play called Family, with what you read in the bio. So from there, off and on, I've been writing plays and being in different films and the different plays. So I guess you could say back in 99, when A-Man's Corner at the Christina Cultural Arts Center gave me that bug that, hey, man, this acting thing this is for me.
So you kind of knew what it was. Would you say that it was your purpose?
Yes, definitely. Because I would say that the first purpose was writing, and then the acting came after the writing. Right. Yeah, it came. Yeah, so it's kind of a combined thing. Because I tell you what, because the writing really inspired me to become an actor. Because if you look at African American actors, many of them had to audition for the same role. It's not a lot of opportunities, so for African Americans as it is, other cultures. So I said, why am I sitting back waiting for someone else to write something in which I can write for myself and give myself and others an opportunity, to hit the stage.
Right. Absolutely. So what is the writing process for you? Just like, is it a boost of inspiration? You just go, do you got to get to a zone? What's that process look like for you?
Well, first, I had to come up with a topic or a title of what I want to write. Right. And then from there, I do what you call an outline. I outline the different characters. I outline different issues that I wanted to address or tackle in that particular play or that particular writing that I'm doing. Creating characters is so funny, man. It really is. I mean, I love creating diversified characters, one character thinking this way, another character thinking another way. And there's nothing more glorifying than seeing people act out the characters that you develop. I mean, it's so funny. You got the serious player, you got the no nonsense character, you got the funny character. So and then when people giving me positive reinforcements, man, this play is good, man. Man, I enjoy playing this character. That I think I pretty much did my job. So so that's the first thing. It's just finding out what is it that I want to write first. Outline it. I have to outline it and then just go from there.
Right, I got you. Okay, and then I guess the fulfillment comes when you actually see your, the actor actually, mouthing your words, right?
Definitely. And then you got actors saying, "Well, when's the next play?" Or sometimes when I audition people, I may say, "What do you like better?" And they say, "Well, I like this character." So even before I put the script on, like this book I just wrote. When we get to that, From Tears to Glory, the stories of our lives. I had people read the different characters, and one lady, you might know her, Natural. I don't know if you're Facebook friends with Natural. She was reading one of the characters of Ebony, and Ebony is your soul sister. She's like a sister soldier. She's like down with the struggle, down with the red, black, and green. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she said, "This is me. This is me." And just seeing her excitement, and you realize, "Hey, man, I got something going on here."
So you knew you had something. If she said that, she identified with that character immediately.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that character was her. That character was actually her. Yeah, because she wears the African clothing and things of that nature there. Yeah, so I just love creating characters which people can identify with.
Good. So it's not like this is not something that you're gonna do fly by night. You are in this to win it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So do you put on any workshops and something like things like that for people who want to actually learn how to do this?
No, I haven't done that yet. That's maybe one thing in the future that I'd like to do. That would be part of my growth in terms of being a writer is putting on workshops or even doing lectures. And like I said, this book is the first that I've written. So now I'm expanding my horizons.
Yeah, let's talk about that book, man. I mean, now you go from writing, okay, it makes sense, writing to plays, acting, to a book. Like, where did that come from, man?
Well, the book actually is from my last play that I've written, From Tears to Glory, The Stories of Our Lives. It's a story about 8 strangers from North Philadelphia who are chosen to participate in a cultural awareness group where the participants get to discuss, culture and culturally related issues, race-related issues that affect their personal lives, as well as, how race and culture affects those of us in society as a whole. So they meet for 4 group sessions, and then they give updates of what's going on in their personal lives. And the book focuses on the 8 characters of what they're going through. So some of the topics that we go through is sexuality, domestic violence, education, womanhood, leadership, a family secret. So each of these characters are going through something different, which, in their personal lives, and then they talk about it in the group sessions, and everybody give them feedback of how they can grow and how they can cope with some of the issues that's going on in their personal lives. So it's available on Amazon.com, or people can contact me through Facebook if they want to sign an autograph copy. So I'm loving this thing. My goal is just trying to find some places where I can go on tour, to take the book on tour. Yeah. I want the book to be, like I said, it was a play first, and we did it as a stage reading, but I want to do it where I can take the play on tour as well, because if you look at the Color Purple, it was a book, it was a movie, it was a play. Right. If you look at For Color Girls with a Rainbow, I can never remember the full name, but the writer, she had passed away about a month or 2 ago. Wow. But For Color Girls Only, it was a movie that Tyler Perry did. It was a play that's been going on for the last 20 something years. It was a book. So that's my thing. I just don't want to write it as a book, but I want it to be a play. I want it to be a movie. I want to take it to the highest level that it possibly can go.
You're just doing some incredible things, man. Now, for somebody that comes to you for advice, and they say, Omar, man, I want to be on your show, or I think I want to do something, but I got really low self-esteem. I kind of don't like myself. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's suffering with low self-esteem and not knowing their purpose?
Right. Well, I would say for those who may want to be an actor or actress, attend plays, take acting lessons, go to local places that we have here, like the Christina Cultural Arts Center, some of the other places that teaches acting, that teaches music, that teaches dance. Go to some shows, just to see what it was really like. But also, whatever you decide to do, whether it be a writer, whether it be an actor, whether it be a poet, a dancer, a model, is that you got to be committed. You got to be committed because you got people who may cast you in their particular roles, and if you half stepping, if you're not showing up for rehearsal, or you just walk out without any explanation, then that person's gonna look at you and say, well, you know what, this person's not committed. I wouldn't recommend this person to be involved in anyone else's production, because they weren't serious. They weren't committed. So my biggest thing is that whatever you decide to do, is you got to be committed. Don't sit there and say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I want to do that, and you don't study for your script. You don't practice your dance steps. You don't go to some rehearsals. So just be committed. Learn from others. Like I said, just go to shows, take classes, and then go from there.
host of artist, actor, also writer, and also playwright. And matter of fact, I'm gonna say it right now, the future New York Times best-selling author. I appreciate you being on the show today, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you inviting me, man. It was a great opportunity.
Real quick, I also neglected to say this. You also became a certified Zumba instructor. Talk about that real quick.
Oh yeah. Well, right now I just do
Zumba.
I think I got that certification in 2014 at the YMCA. I know because one of the things I love physical fitness. I love keeping in shape, and so I love to dance and the combination of dance. And exercising is awesome thing. I love doing special events and just having fun with the people and just trying to keep in shape.
Good, man. Look, because guess what? Number one is no matter what we're doing, our health is truly our wealth. Get with Omar. Omar, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, well, they can contact me at, my email is omarrashada@yahoo.com. Or they can reach me at Facebook, Omar Showtime Rashada, on Facebook. So that's probably the best way to connect with me is on Facebook, Omar Showtime Rashada.
You heard it first. Omar Showtime Rashada. I appreciate you if you be on the show, man. Looking forward to you doing some great things. And hey, man, I'll talk to you later, all right?
Okay,
Thanks
peace.
for being on the show. And you're tuning in to Studio 22 Live.tv podcast. Always positive, always on.